Hello and welcome to Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design, where we aim to establish a monopoly on wasabi extracted directly from Diablo fungus. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode number 15. Unholy Architect Design. I am the learning gamer as the Sweaty.
And I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us in this episode. This week, we repair the crystal arc in the high heaven.
But before that, let's take a look at this week's news. In the docket we have Warframe Rising Tides update, Destiny 2 Season of the Undying disappointment right at the end, and Rest in Peace Battleborn. So, we're gonna start with the Rising Tides update that just came out. Not this week.
It probably came, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Last week, Fridays, I think was that?
The update.
Yes, last week
patch
Friday.
Notes were posted on November 22nd.
Yes, in the
Yeah.
update came in where? When?
Probably around that same time.
Yeah, like that
So, yeah,
that weekend. So
last
tell me
week.
about it, my friend.
Yeah, so it's the, I guess, prelude to a highly
Highly
expected and anticipated
Yeah.
Railjack Furian update. So this update comes the new dock for the clan dojos,
Yep. So
and you can, sorry,
they're all ahead to like start building the actual spaceship, right?
yeah, you can actually do some research on the clan dojo, and you can start a quest that will basically walk you through the things that you need to build your own railjack. And apparently at the end of the quest you will get your railjack.
Yeah.
You won't be able to fly it, but it will be built.
And it will be there on your
It will
dock.
be there on the dock on the clan.
Where is the physical dock? It's actually like part of the dojo.
Yeah, it's a
facility
room
thing?
to build on the clan dojo.
All right. Okay, and is it so you just if you do the quest, you just get your own railjack, and then for the upgrades, then you need to invest resources.
We don't know anything about the upgrades.
We still don't know anything about it, so it's just the quest for you to get the
Yep.
ship. Oh,
For
cool.
you to probably jump right in as soon as the Furian updates hits.
Even if you are
Anytime.
yeah, even if you're a solo player, you will get the actual update, right?
Yeah, the problem that if you're a solo player, you still need a clan, even if it is a solo clan.
You will still need a clan even if it's a solo clan.
Because you need a clan dojo, because it is a room on the dojo.
All right. Okay. All right. I think
You can be solo and just be in a solo clan.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah. I built. I had a clan in Warframe. I think I'm still part of the clan in Warframe. The Warframe, the clans in Warframe, pretty chill. I see rarely people being kicked out of clans in Warframe.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's because Warframe is lacking some clan specific stuff too.
For example,
I don't know, things that incentivize you to play with your clanmates, or
well, they have
know.
I think they had interesting things to do around the event when we rebuilt one of the relays.
That
right?
Yeah, but that didn't have anything to do with clanmates.
Or you have these pushes for statues and resources when there's events and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but they haven't they haven't released new stat things in a long time. I think the last trophy actually that they released was there was one event after Plaguester.
Yeah.
That had a statue, like a trophy.
Wasn't the Plaguester? Wasn't that the Plaguester was the zombie invasion? What was the next event after that?
There was one with when they launched one of the mother fights. They had
Yeah.
an event that
All
became a
right.
recurring event now.
Yeah.
But the first one had some trophy, I'm pretty sure. But that
Oh.
was like a long time ago now.
Oh. Okay. And they haven't put anything else to like incentivize clan play.
But that's not enough. Like that just needs people playing during the event and dumping resources into the trophies. Like that's still that is still not meaningful for the clan on itself.
So you said that like what would you imagine that would be interesting for a clan to actually do?
I don't know, clan specific achievements, mm, cosmetics that you unlock only when playing with your clanmates,
That would be
or
better. Yeah, that would be interesting.
stuff like that that requires you to stuff with your clan, so that the officers of the clan or the people who are in charge of the clans like incentivize the members to log in and play with our clanmates, I guess.
Yeah, because since I've been with the clan that I've never played with a clanmate. Since I've been on a clan, I visited dojo and like have trade with some of the clanmates, and I've helped some of the clanmates that are more new to the game. And like I put resources towards some of the sculptures and things that they built, but I never like actively go into like an event or a activity or something like that with a clanmate. So that would be interesting to see. But I think that's the point of the new Radio Jack update, right?
We don't know. It doesn't seem that way from what they have shown,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
We'll see if it's actually incentivize clan play.
It will be cool, but
Yeah,
we'll
it'll be
see.
cool. It'll be cool to see like big clans actually like coordinated to go into the ship and to do updates to the ship and do like specific things. Like I think it's a good opportunity for them to like take advantage of the fact that the ship is actually tied to the clans.
Yeah, probably. I think they don't know what to do with the clans, to be honest.
At this point, they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
What do you say? What do you said that
Because they haven't done anything with them
in a
for
long
years
time?
now.
That is true. All right, and that's it for the update. Have you played since the update? Have you done the quest and the thingy?
I contributed to my clan build of the room
Yeah,
and the research of the thing that you need to. You actually need to research cephalon psi, which is the cephalon for the railjack or for the railjack.
yeah.
So I contributed to that. I left it building. I picked him up and I started the quest, but I haven't finished the quest.
Fair enough. And what do you have to do in the quest?
I don't know. You have to go and do stuff,
And do
farm
stuff.
some resources, and now like they put some of the resources that are gonna be like regional specific
Yeah,
in certain enemies and maps for now because you need them to build the stuff.
yeah.
So it's literally the update was kind of it's kind of a preview of what's
So you go
coming
to
up.
like a mission and then do the mission, and that will give you like the resources that you need.
Probably,
Okay. All right. Interesting. Cool. Yeah.
probably.
So when do you
Oh, they
expect?
also brought the new look for the orbiter. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the upgrade for the orbiter. Yeah, orbiter
It looks
2.0.
amazing, actually.
The new orbiter looks amazing.
Yeah.
What did they change from it?
The lining, a lot of the models. They put
Inside of it?
the glass ceiling.
Do you get the upgrade like automatically, or do you have to do something?
No, just a visual upgrade.
It's just a visual upgrade straight up.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna miss the old orbiter.
No, this
No?
one looks way better.
Oh yeah, I see the glass ceiling. Cool. Yeah, it looks way better.
It looks
Did,
really,
does it does
really.
it keep your color scheme? I imagine, right?
Yeah, it keeps everything.
It keeps everything that you
It
really.
also kept all the decorations.
Yeah, the decoration that you put in. Yeah.
Yeah.
You keep all your pineapples,
Yeah.
your pimp arbitrary by Lucho.
I love my pineapples.
You're dancing pineapples. Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, very cool, very interesting. Check out Warframe; it's a great game. If you're hearing
Yeah.
from
I'm
us
still waiting
for this
for a
update,
figurine.
yeah, for a variant. Hopefully, it will come
Sooner rather than later.
sooner rather than later. I agree too.
That's a hope.
That's a hope, but with DA, that's the thing. They don't release it till
Yeah. Although,
it's actually
to be
ready.
honest, there was a dev stream for me yesterday, which meant last Friday,
Yeah,
but I haven't checked it out. I haven't had time to.
to see if they announce something there.
Yeah.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did.
I'll take a look. Probably later tonight. I'll put the VOD of the dev stream and see.
And see what they say.
Yep.
Hopefully, all good news. Hopefully, they'll come. They'll say, "Oh yeah, Merry Christmas. Have your update." But who knows?
That'll be amazing. Actually, Steve Sinclair has been sharing a lot of photos of the newer tile set, of the sentient tile set,
Yep. Yeah.
and the sentient mother ship,
Yeah.
mother thingy.
Yeah.
It looks really freaking dope.
Man, this game always look cool. When the
That's
new engine
one of my
updates
favorite
and
games of all time.
yeah, and when with the update engine and everything, it keeps looking cooler and cooler. If you have
Yeah.
if you're looking for a cool game to waste your holidays,
No,
100%. What?
not to waste, to
Well,
invest.
to invest your holiday time. I'm sorry. To invest your holiday time, we will highly recommend Warframe. Is free, and
It's not only free; it's an amazing game.
it's an amazing game. Yes, indeed, it's very cool. Anyways, moving on. We have a second news on the platform. And the end of the season of the Undying and in Destiny 2 ends up being very disappointed for everybody involved. So a little bit of background of this. In the tower throughout this season, Ikora has been like this character has been like building a Vex gate, right? With the promise that we're gonna that the final mission against the Vex, the Black Garden thingy, and the Vex assault on the moon and everything is gonna come to a glorious conclusion. And it's been like teasing and every week you check and the gate has changed, has been more and more constructed. And then finally, the last weeks of the season of the Undying are upon us, and we're like, oh yeah, the final salt, which was the final thing on the roadmap of the season that's been announced, is here. We're gonna see. Maybe we will get a new, the last exotic. Maybe we'll get a cool new semi dungeon or something like that, or an evolution of the Vex activity as we had in the Menagerie back in season of Opulence, right? But no. The only thing that we got to close the season was a very disappointing change of boss at the end of the Vex offensive activity, and that was it.
Yeah, so it's the same activity that people have been playing for the whole expansion or since the thing launch.
Yeah.
It's just a different boss. Like only the last boss is different.
And you know the saddest part it is? It's easier to kill than the than the boss that were spent before than the Minotaur. And
yeah, I'm not surprised, really.
And it's like, and not even like new loot or anything. It's just like
I'm really surprised that people are that disappointed.
You're really
I never
surprised
expected anything out of that.
I think this dead horse has become I don't know, the most recent like example of how to disappoint people constantly. Right?
I wasn't that disappointed. I was like, yeah, it's It
What?
sounds like something that like it sounds like the thing that Destiny would do.
It sounds of the thing that Destiny will do. Yes, it does. Like it's sad to say, but the track record is being like sad. Every time they get an opportunity to kind of like uh surprise or meet some kind of like expectation from their audience, they always end up disappointing. And don't get me wrong, Shadowkeep was cool. It was a cool expansion. The dungeon is great. The new activity on the moon is great. Especially the dungeon. The dungeon is really cool. Um, but we just want more of those style of things, and this is just like terrible to close a season with. Like it would be better if they close the season with the dungeon. It would be a better high point that with this. This was like super lazy, like extremely lazy to close a season like that, right? And the problem is like it's the
I
beginning
guess.
of the new cycle of seasons, and it's just bad, right?
Uh, I guess I don't know.
And everybody in the community has exactly the same opinion that it was just bad. It was just bad, and a lot of build up and a very bad payoff.
I'm wondering if the community overhyped themselves for this.
The thing is, like the community didn't overhype themselves. The game was hyping the actual thing.
Not the game didn't do like. If I'm being honest, the
All
game
right.
didn't do much to hype that. Like it wasn't thrown in my face at any point.
Well, it was the weirdest thing because it was the first time since the Drifter that they were changing a part of the city, of the hub of the tower to serve a plot point, right? And they
Sure.
really do that, right? Since the Drifter was the last addition to the city, to the tower, right? And they change it in a major way. They actually expand the space where Ikora was, and they start to like building the gate, etc., etc. You know?
I don't like if I don't really have to be honest. I don't think they hype it that much. It was just something that was kind of happening in the background, and sure,
Sure.
it was a thing that was going on, but
Yeah.
like they never threw it in my face. Like, oh yeah, this is the. I feel like they never told me like, this is the thing that is coming.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough.
That's what I'm
True.
saying. So, I'm just saying they never hype it in game. I don't know what they did on the social media or anything like that, but at least in game, I never felt like it was. Oh no, this is the big thing that it's happening, and they were all remind me about it. Yeah.
All right. But it was. It
I
was
feel I was more hyped for the thing about the Ares weekly thingies. His and her
the
ghost
missions. The
disappearing.
missions that you clean up the ghosts from her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was more hype for me because it was something that I was doing and
Yeah.
that was actually making changes like based on my game.
Yeah.
That was way more engaging for me than
But that
the
was cool
tower.
because the payoff of that was the exotic.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree. But what I'm
And
saying is that was more in my face kind of hype
all right. Fair enough. Yeah.
because it was like I had to actually do something
Yes.
and do this challenge, and then at the end I will see like each week
Yeah.
like a little cinematic of Harris explaining something of the lore and the little ghost disappearing. That's what I'm saying. That feels more engaging to me than.
Yeah, and that was a cool payoff because the payoff of that was the dungeon and the secret mission inside the dungeon for the
Yeah, but
for the
aside from the payoff,
yeah,
the
aside
point
from the
is not the
payoffs.
payoff.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
My
Yeah,
point is that is hyping game for me because I actually engage with the thing that was
fair enough.
happening.
Yeah, all right, I
There
get
is
it. I
tower
get
for
it.
me. There is not the Ikora tower was kind of, it's a
Okay.
background.
Yeah,
Sure.
but the thing is, like, it was the last event inside the season, so it should be more important, and maybe they should have like
That's
shuffle
not
things
my
around.
point.
All
My
right,
point
yeah.
is I'm
You
just
never
saying
feel
I
that
never
that
felt like
hype.
it was hype in game,
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's
and
fair.
I will actually give them the benefit of the doubt to say that maybe people overhype themselves for that.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Lucho coming into defense of Destiny. It's a
It's
new
not like
thing.
I don't know what like I cannot say what they did in their social media or whatever thing,
Yeah.
and also I feel like content creators play a bigger part in all of this.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
So I feel like the hype came from them more than the game itself.
Yeah.
Because there was like, for example, if there was like a weekly mission, like there is one that was happening with Ikora and her tower and something,
That would be more involved. Yeah. All right, yeah.
that would have been hype for me in game, and I would have expected something from the game.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All I'm saying that's all I'm saying. Like I'm not that surprised by that because I wasn't hyped for that. And I'm just asking and I'm just wondering how much was just community hype more than the actual game hyping something.
Probably. I think it was like an expectancy when they saw the roadmap of the season and they expected the end of the season to have a big event, right?
Uh, yeah,
in
fair,
part
I
in part of
guess.
that, yeah, in part of that, and like an evolution of that Vex offensive activity, which was decent. It wasn't as good as the menagerie, but it was okay. And in this conversation about the end of the season, spark another conversation was being happening recently this week about what is the value of Season of the Undying, because the majority of cool things of this season, quote unquote, of Destiny 2 came from Shadowkeep, came from the actual expansion. But if you take only the Season of the Undying, like disconnected from Shadowkeep, is like very, very bad value for what you get, right? You get like you get
For
the
your money,
yeah, for your money, yeah.
yeah, but I won't comment on that because I completely disagree with the monetization model that Destiny 2 is going with. So
You mean the season
yeah,
passes and
yeah,
the cosmetic microtransactions?
because they are trying to sell you everything. Like they're selling you expansion, they're selling you season passes, and they're selling you cosmetics.
Yes.
They're trying to monetize everything, and that for a free to play game,
Yeah.
that have I complained about this before. Like
Yes, 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 I know. Yeah,
if that
yeah.
they're gonna go free to play, they should go all the way free to play.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And
You're
if
right
they're
in
not gonna
it.
go free to play, keep charging for the expansion like normal.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. In that sense, yes, and they will analyze in the expansion is like it's not worth the $10, like only the Season of the Undying. Like
I agree.
Shadowkeep, absolutely. Absolutely Shadowkeep is worth it for the content that we got into the game. But the Season of the Undying is like absolutely not worth it.
I completely agree. But again, my opinion is probably biased because I don't agree with the monetization model of the game.
That's absolutely fair. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. And for our final news, Battleborn is shooting down. So Battleborn was a game that came out when Overwatch came out. And it's exactly the same style of game as Overwatch. But as we will know, Overwatch is the one that came out on top. Right? It's kind of this same like hero shooter team based first person shooter, and they're in more like constrained maps, more maps similar to what League of Legends map looks like. They're in those kind of like more similar environments, and it is as understanding a good game, right? But apparently in a it came out as competence of Overwatch, and Overwatch just like destroy him in every shape or
It was
form.
bad timing.
Yeah, so it was bad timing, and they're shutting down servers. Finally, they put him to rest. They couldn't recover from the bad timing of the launch against Overwatch, and And that was it. Games that die, man. Games that die.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that happens.
Yes, you that happened.
It's a shame for all the work that went into a game.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine all
But
those hours of design and stuff,
yeah,
and like all
no,
these
like
years supporting the game and trying to like have your community, and there's probably community around this game that's already mourning the losses. But it's the reality of the marketing these days, man. Even if we've seen like very good stories of like games lasting a long time and bringing back to light, but recently we haven't had like an example of a very like big game fall by the wayside, because I remember this made me think back, and now that I've been playing World of Warcraft a lot recently, this made me think back in all those games that came out as like as an adversary, like for fight against World of Warcraft in the MMO genres back when World of Warcraft launched and it became a huge success. um there was like 1,000 clones trying to get that market around, right? And it just made me think like, man, Blizzard is such a trendsetter, such a force in the game space, that it can just like create genres and destroy the competition in the in their wake. Because I
yeah, I
remember,
mean,
yeah, I remember
they're
back.
juggernauts of the industry.
Yeah, I remember back when World of Warcraft launched, there was like a bunch of like Koreans and Americans and a lot of MMOs with action genres that die after 1 year, that die and unceremoniously died after 3 years, 2 years. And World of Warcraft just like has now 15 years of being alive.
I mean, to be fair, it's not the only one. Like Final Fantasy
14, Final Fantasy 14, you're talking about?
14,
Yeah.
it's still going strong.
Still going, but Final Fantasy 14 is a relatively new game. That's what I meant.
Yeah, but it's relatively new. It's definitely not as old, but it's been out for a while, and they have a pretty set up cycle of like new content and then a couple of months of nothing is happening and then new content and the community is okay with that.
Yeah,
And then like the cycle of going back to a game to check the new stuff works for them.
yeah,
So it seems like the game is not going anywhere anytime soon.
that's good.
So that's good. And that's, I will consider that one another successful MMORPG, I guess.
Yeah, but they're rare and far in between, right? That's what I
They
mean.
are,
Like,
but they definitely are. And that's, I guess that's just what the market is like.
yeah, and this is just a reminder that even with all criticism of Blizzard and everything else, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with, especially when they
Oh,
create these markets, man.
they are. They are
Right?
juggernauts.
Yeah. And like we don't want to appear to be like Blizzard fanboys, but man, they
I am a
demand
fanboy.
respect. They demand respect.
I am a fanboy.
Like and I feel like they solve, like, can you imagine can you imagine being in the shoes of somebody when you launch like World of Warcraft and then looking back as a developer and says, "Oh my god,
I don't know how many people who were on that launch are still in the company.
yeah, no, probably not many."
Even the current game director, like he was a player, and
Yes, he was a player in in Lich King, wasn't it?
I think it was up to Burning Crusader at
Yeah,
some
something like
point.
that.
Like
Yeah.
he became like a dungeon designer or something
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, yeah. Even
Encounter
Jeff,
designer.
Daddy Jeff, he was apparently like he designed a bunch of Lich King activities, and he designed a bunch of Cataclysm quest lines. He used to be a quest line designer inside of Blizzard.
Yeah. But he didn't came like, it was not at the point like where like you had a player, you got it into a company, he made a career in the company,
Yeah.
and now that player
He's
He's the game
actually
director.
he's actually game directing. Yeah. So
That's the thing that it's insane. Like
yeah, it's
he made
insane.
the dream come true. That's all I'm
Yes.
saying.
Absolutely, he went for circle, and those stories like are super rare. But man, like seeing this that Battlebone just did. Like imagine what was the other game that couldn't compete with Overwatch? The Blazinski game. That was a
Oh,
disaster.
yeah.
You remember this? Like
I
after
remember
he
the
sold
story.
Gears of War, he was like, "I'm gonna
Yeah,
do the
yeah, yeah,
next
yeah.
big thing."
I don't remember the name of the game, but yeah, that one like crash and burn
Yeah,
as soon as it
yeah,
landed.
yeah. At least Paddleball like lasted a long time.
Lasted a couple of years.
Yeah, but 2K, and it was like actually recognizable, right? But here we are, and now Overwatch has a esport franchise worth millions of dollars, and is launching a sequel, quote unquote, with more
They
lore
call it
offerings.
sequel. We're gonna call it sequel.
You were not gonna call it sequel. That's why the quotes. A full lore expansion of his game as they use it now. World of Warcraft Classic, and with the announcement of Diablo 4, and they're just like destroying everybody, man. Blizzard has something, even with all the criticisms and everything. They're an
Yeah,
interesting company, and more now. They're apparently with the new, like I feel like in these last 2 years, like the developers, I don't mean the figureheads, but the developers inside has been shifting in attitude towards their fan base, right? We've seen a
okay.
lot more of feedback intake, and everybody celebrating that they're actually listening to the
Yeah,
community
yeah, yeah.
and
That's
modifying
probably something
things.
that has changed in the last couple of years, where
Yeah,
the player base of the games like expect more communication between developers and them.
yeah. More and more, we're seeing these trends in the industry, where the community becomes a very important part in the actual development cycle of whatever game. We've seen it in Path of Exile, a great success. We've seen it
I feel
at Warframe, a great success too, I will say.
yeah, I
Um,
feel like that's something that was born out of the free to play environment and like the successes there.
yeah,
The textbook success of some games in the free to play environment.
yeah,
And that just like moved towards like just normal full price release like games.
yeah.
Which is interesting.
Which is cool. It's just interesting.
Yeah, it's not a criticism, it's just
A thing
it
that
just looked
happened.
that way to me,
Yeah,
and it's really cool.
yeah, absolutely, and definitely we're happy in this day and age that they take the feedback. I imagine that it's like by now it's something that you have to like be very aware when you're developing a game if you want him to function in a long way in a like for a long time, that you now have to have an entire team dedicated to actually just like
Yeah.
absorbing feedback, right? With all the quantity of like influencers and big communities, like organized big communities that now exist with like proper voices and that sort of stuff, and everything has to be filtered out and like properly presented and digested
Yeah,
uh,
no, that's
for things to be applied properly. So now when you're thinking in game, and it's like very recently, when you're thinking before, when you're thinking in game development, you're just like thinking like as if you were like composing a song or something like that, when you just like have this idea as like this very artistic idea, and then you just make it and they put it out there. Right now we still say we're seeing this change in the industry where the builders are exposing their work in blueprints much more to the soon to be buyers before and the buyers will have their voice heard in certain way, shape, or form about the initial design, which I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. So far has been good for some games, which they have like better systems, but
I, no, I think it's a good thing as long as the development team has like a strong head like a strong direction to follow.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
That is not going to be swayed one way or the other by what people say.
yeah,
So as long as you have someone like on the head of the team who has a clear goal,
yeah, yeah,
I think any feedback can be useful.
yeah.
But you
Fair
have to
enough.
stick, like if you have a design goal and you have an idea, you have to commit to that. And you can make small corrections, but you cannot let the community like derail
Yeah,
whatever you're
dictate
actually
everything.
trying
Yeah,
to make or to produce.
yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. It's hard. It's hard now because it's another thing that you have to like juggle doing game design. So this job is becoming more and more hard to do.
And I think it's as long as you have someone that is a good manager, able to keep the forces pulling the same way,
Yeah.
everything can work out.
Yeah,
Work
and
out.
take the correct feedback, right? There is a lot of people that you just yells at the internet, but there is some voices that are like interesting feedback, and it's curious because I've seen the feedback on people, and they're like they some more often than not they kind of like voice their concern, but they find it very challenging to try to propose a solution to their concern.
Yeah, but uh, you could make an argument that not always, like, you can criticize something
Yeah,
from your position
yeah,
without having a solution for the problem.
yeah, absolutely.
Like
It's
as
valid.
long as you're not being like aggressive or disrespectful or anything like that,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
it's fine to say like, I don't agree with this. I don't know how I would do it.
yeah.
That's fine. It's just I feel like it's on the recipient side of the discussion to be able to
To come
either
up with
take those
answers.
comments or filter them out
Yeah, yeah.
or use them as a guidance to move things away or in one or other direction.
Yeah, but as everything in life, I think is good that more and more companies that are designing these long, like these very durable games, like games that are aiming to have their PC in the market for a long time, to have this constant feedback with the community, because time and time again has been demonstrated that that is an important part for a long for the duration of a very successful long game. And we've seen it like the perfect example with Warframe, and we see another example with Path of Exile, that they have taken that philosophy from the beginning, and against all odds they've been very successful because of it, because they take that philosophy from the beginning. So it's good to know that the classic developers companies are taking that in stride.
Yeah, I guess I would still like to see like a company developing their own game without any community feedback and just being successful.
At this day and age, I don't know.
Why not?
Indie projects are
No,
generally
like big
into
projects.
like big projects, like just doing a game. And
Yeah.
well, you can say that Star Wars, the last Star Wars Jedi game was something like that,
Yeah, but I don't know if
like story, like one time story games, like I don't know, the new God of War, for example.
I'm okay with that.
Or
Like that's
what was the other, like I think it's more in more in what kind of game are you developing, because the games that I'm talking about are just story heavily story linear games, when they're gonna tell you a story to with gameplay, right? I think in that sense you don't need that many community feedback.
yeah, true.
Yeah, so it depends of the type of game that you're developing. Then what is the other? We haven't have that many community involvement cycle feedback in, for example, Cyberpunk 2077. And they've been very public about the majority of the systems of the game, but because it's a more RPG, story driven game, they don't need that many. Like the game is not aiming to last forever. That's my point.
I'm wondering how much community feedback does the Monster Hunter team takes from the community?
Wow, that's a good question.
because they
It's a
are
really
not
good question.
as vocal as a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
teams that we have in mind. Like, and they take some things, but they seem to be like small things, like being able to play the story campaign, the story missions with your pals.
yeah.
Yeah, like that sounds reasonable to everyone, but that's not a fundamental change to the game.
Yes.
That's it. That's the kind of thing. Like, it seems like they can take quality of life uh, criticism.
Yeah,
I think the thing that I heard they mention is that the new city for Iceborne, the new hub, is smaller,
yeah.
so you don't have to walk as much to all the
Oh,
things that
that's
you're
good.
supposed to do in between hunts.
Yeah, yeah,
And that was something that probably a community complained about, but
yeah.
that again doesn't change the fundamental design of the game.
True. That's true. That's true. It's just a quality of life improvement.
Yeah, so I feel like, and for example, I don't know, and that's because probably the Japanese market has a bigger saying in that than us.
Oof. All right. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
But I wonder how much do they actually take? Because it doesn't feel that they take much, like from
Who
my
knows?
perspective, which is not a bad thing because
Yeah, yeah.
they make it work.
Yes, yes, yes.
And if I
Absolutely.
have to say something, is like, yeah, they've been doing this game for decades, so
Yeah.
they
So
probably know better than me.
probably, yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. Well, you never know what kind of cycles do they have, especially after they change philosophies inside Konami to be a more Japanese central developer.
Yeah,
So
a
maybe,
more
yeah,
like
maybe the Japanese
traditional.
market, yeah, maybe the Japanese market has a bigger say in it. Maybe they don't have the complaints as the American market has complained. Maybe it's different. Maybe they're okay with
It's
certain other systems.
or maybe they don't pay that much attention and they
Yeah.
just do their thing. And
And the other thing is like, but the same like in the same topic of feedback is very interesting. What take it they don't take, because there was a big discussion of the Diablo 4 feedback that it was given when it was this fight between like not making the game easier but it making it complex, but no dumb them down, but they have to put it into consoles and like crazy things like that. So it would be interesting to know what they actually take inside, but that's a decision of the designer, what kind of feedback is actually
yeah,
and how
and
much.
that's what I was saying, that everything is fine as you have, or as the team has like a strong person in charge
Yeah, a
that
strong.
is able to just steer the ship
Yeah,
to a
that they're
place where they're trying to get it.
yeah that their leaders are good, like especially because in a game you don't have, you don't have one honcho, because you have like kind of like you don't have one boss that takes all the decisions. You have a board of bosses. So you have like the game designer, but you have the art director, you have the story or director, and you have like 4 or 5 director heads. So
No, but
you still have like that team has to be strong minded in that sense, right? That's what I mean. And just
yeah,
making
but
that small correction.
I still feel like you need one person
You need the
pulling
strong game
one way.
designer to make like level headed decisions.
Not low, like you need a goal that
Yeah.
you want to reach.
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of times having like 4 people in a team trying to make decisions, they're gonna pull different ways.
That is true.
Like there is no group of 4 people in this world that are all of them trying to go to the same place. It's not.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah.
You need someone in charge. That's just life.
Yeah. 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 You're right. You're right. You're right.
So that's what, and that's not a thing. It's not that the other people ideas are being dismissed. It's just that they have to be evaluated against reaching the place that the game wants to be.
Yep.
And that's all. And I do believe that that requires one person in charge with like a clear vision
Absolutely.
for the product.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, we recognize these interesting trends in the industry, and rest in peace, Battleborn community. Hopefully, you find some other place where they welcome you with open arms.
Yeah.
Or just go and play Overwatch.
You're playing Battleborn, you probably have something against
Yeah.
Overwatch.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? But that's it for the news. Now I gotta move to our main topic.
Yeah.
this week. So, first of all, before we move to a deep dive, our little disclaimers. As always, this discussion here is based on our own opinions and our own in-game experiences. That's what we live every day, playing our games. That's where we subtract. Of course, I have some professional knowledge, and Lucho has some cool knowledge.
I have a lot of opinions.
But
I have strong opinions.
He has strong opinions, but the majority of things that we come here is with our own experience in games, so we might sometimes miss some stuff here and there. We try to do our research as much as we can, but we're not aiming to be absolutely certain game journalist. Not yet, I guess. But without further ado, our deep dive is, how do we fix Diablo 3?
Yeah. There is something that I want to say before we get into the main topic.
All right, go ahead.
And is that we are sorry because we missed last week.
Yes, that's true.
Life came sweeping our way and things happened.
Yeah, life happened, and stuff and things came in our way. We couldn't get you this episode sooner. We're really sorry for the people that listen to us every week. We missed the episode, but
it was a chaotic weekend.
Yes, it was definitely crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
So we try to always stick to a schedule, but sometimes there's not much that we can do about it.
I mean, we're episode 15,
yes.
And we miss a week. So sorry about that.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Let's get right into
the thing. Into
this week's. And this week we're gonna take a look at how can we improve, I guess, the whole Diablo franchise. And we're gonna take a look back at probably some of the biggest missteps of Diablo 3.
Yeah. And I think this episode will differ from our episode of lessons, because we're gonna try to discuss more like possibilities of what the franchise can be in the future, especially with the announcement of Diablo 4. There's a bunch of we are sharing our feedback to developers out there of Diablo 4, as the entire community is sharing their feedback of what they've seen for the game. So, tackle the first big topic: the auction house and player economy and all the craziest things that happen around. How do we have a healthy economy in this genre?
Yeah, and so first of all, we should probably comment what was the problem with the auction house for Diablo 3.
All right.
And there were basically two big problems. One is that it was like playing the auction house.
Yep.
Like sniping things and flipping stuff was the most efficient way of getting loot.
Yes.
And good loot, actually.
yes, because they when Diablo 3 came out, like the drops for any good loot were abysmal all across the board.
It was scarce at best.
Yes.
But not only that, like you could also use real money.
Yes.
So I guess the mix of those two factors contributed to the whole failing of the auction house.
Yeah. So
basically meant that it was pay to win.
Yeah, the big thing is, like, at some point it became more efficient to actually play the auction house than play Diablo 3. And that absolutely was killing the game. But
it is. But I have a question for you.
All right, tell me.
With that regard.
Yeah.
I know that you've been playing WoW
retail
for a while now.
Yes.
And in WoW, it's completely acceptable to play the auction house.
Yes.
And if you're good enough at it, you can make a lot of gold.
Yes.
And you can buy all the equipment that you want.
All right. Your point? Why it is
No,
different? So your question is why is that acceptable? And back in the day, what Diablo 3 wasn't acceptable, right?
yeah, taking aside the problem of the real money, like
Yeah, no. I'm not referring. Well, the answer is simple. It's because it was the best way to play the game,
yeah,
right?
but
And it was it was super limiting to players to engage with what was important in Diablo 3, which was go on dungeon and like get your loot that way, right? But the problem is like the action house playing was so effective that there was no point of playing in the other way. At least in WoW, I see that there is a balance, right? You can actually have very good gold farming playing the game and not necessarily playing the action house. Like there's like ways that you can make like 50k gold an hour just actually playing the game, going farming stuff, right? And yes, you can be like as rich playing the action house, but it's not necessarily one is not killing the other, right? Playing the action house is not actually killing the game, right? In Diablo 3, back it was doing that because doing gameplay in Diablo 3 wasn't worth it unless you were playing the action house.
okay. So how would you balance those things for Diablo?
Exactly as I say, like if he's
Sure, but you're saying that it should be balanced,
yes,
and I agree. My
yes,
question is, how would you balance it for Diablo?
for an RTS. All right, let me think about it for a second. All right, is um is having the availability of loot not being as scarce as it was back into Diablo 3, right? Where you have the possibility of actually get good loot for whatever activity you want to do just by doing gameplay instead of always going to the action house, right? The imbalance is what's gonna kill it one way or the other, right? And that's the only answer. You have to balance it somehow. The money
Yeah, no,
side, like the fact of buying like real money thing can bring some imbalance to the system because you just can have like players just pay to win and be the best because they just buy the best gear, etc., etc. So there was talks about like limiting, like doing it as in PoE where you cannot buy gold or the currency to move the things inside the action house, but all the currency is tied to in-game currency, right? So if you play PoE, they have a very healthy action house. It's very weird because it's like is managed through like from an external source, like from an external website, which tells you how much the item should cost and blah blah blah, and then you go and do the direct transaction with the player. But all these transactions are tied to currency that is only valuable inside the game, and it actually has a use over the items, right? So if you decouple real money from there, that introduces balances because you have to engage with the core systems of the game to actually build some of the play of
I
the action
agree with
house.
that. But like from the beginning, I told you, let's leave the real money problem out of the window.
Yes. So disconnect
Yeah,
the real problem money. Yeah.
yeah. Let's leave the real money out of the question because yeah, that was just a stupid move. We're
Yeah.
not gonna even bother with that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
My my question is still like, and I completely agree with you. It's a problem about balance.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Still, how would you balance those things in game? Actually, like,
You have to speak with the economist. they're actually I was like because I was thinking and this is something that I've discussed before with other person and I was thinking like I think I'm not smart enough as a designer to actually come up with that answer because that answer is about
I'm
like economics.
I'm pretty sure the people who design the auction house in WoW are not economists. They just put an auction house and let it rip.
Probably not. Probably not. But but if you want to balance like that, you have to see it like that. You have to manage it like that with like real economists,
But
like
what
with
I'm saying is
inflation
that
in mind and that sort of IP base and all those sort of
yeah,
stuff.
but what I'm saying is that probably didn't happen in WoW, and it still works. And yes, WoW has inflation problems
Yes.
and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's still a functional
Yeah.
market.
I think because because they make illegal to introduce real money currency. I think that's where the balance come from, right? Where you don't have
So
like external sorceries, when your action how works if doesn't have external sources that affect the in-game market,
I
right?
mean, in WoW, you can argue that you have because the WoW token exists.
Yes, but that was a recent. That was very recent to the game. That was like
Yeah, but it's been there for a couple of years now, and it haven't destroyed the economy.
that is true. But they did this balancing act for a long time without that being put into the game.
Yeah, when it got introduced, it had a huge effect.
Yes,
But now it's been
it's pretty
years since
yeah.
the WoW token was
But
introduced, and
but even so, it's been illegal for forever to actually buy gold for real money inside World of Warcraft, right?
yeah, but that's what the WoW token does, basically.
Basically, but from a legal perspective, I don't know. It's weird.
No, yeah, but like the WoW token is somehow a workaround for that. Like, yes, you cannot
For
buy
that
gold.
problem, yeah.
You can buy this WoW token that you can sell in the auction house, and the amount of money that you get is tied to a market.
Yes.
So there is some uncertainty in that,
Yes.
but still you can buy gold.
Technically speaking, going through a bunch of hoops.
It's not that much if you really think about it. Like,
Yeah.
it just
You can actually like buy WoW tokens in the auction house for gold?
yes, of course you can.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting.
That's how people like I don't know if you are aware of this, but there is an actual calculation that if you're able to make like 5K per week of gold,
Yeah.
you can play WoW for free.
Yeah, you can actually pay your subscription with WoW tokens, right?
Yeah.
So you can like acquire WoW tokens from the auction house and they pay with that with your subscription.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! All right. All right. Yeah.
So, okay. No, like I get all of that, but my
Yeah.
point is not that. Like I agree that it has to be balanced, and I'm just
Yes.
saying let's leave the real money problem aside
Yes.
because
No,
let's agree on something. That was a stupid move.
Yes, correct.
It was pay to win, and let's hope they never
Never
allowed you
do
to
that again.
buy currency.
Yeah, never. I think they learn. They learn from that mistake.
Yeah. So with that ground base,
Yeah.
what would you do to try to have an economy as balanced as possible if you were the one designing the trade system? I guess that's my question.
Oof.
I'm not saying you have the right answer.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we have the right answer.
Yeah. I think.
I'm just asking, what would you do?
Yeah. I think my answer will be focusing in. All right. My answer will be the next. I will just first. The problem of isolation is solved. Like you don't have external
Yeah.
income affecting the market. That's okay. But I think it is more about the time that you invested in that the time that you invest actually engaging in the gameplay of the game is rewarding enough when you don't see the necessity to depend on the action house to build power. It's just a convenience, right? So
Okay.
and this is the example. I want to tackle this high level dungeon. How do I get items? Well, I have several options. I can go to this other low level dungeon and get like a bunch of gold and go and play the auction house and snipe some of the items that I need. Or I can go and farm this other dungeon, which which has a drop chance of the item that I need, but I don't know if I will get it for sure. And I don't know if I'll get it correctly rolled or whatever RNG layer you can put on it, right? But all these activities are equally rewarding for the player, right? It's just a thing of choice of approach, right? So if I found it more fun to actually go and play the game a bunch and get my own items by myself, that's okay. You can do that. If I find it better to just go and farm gold and get the items straight away from the auction house, you can do that, right? But your time invested in the game is being equally rewarding in whatever activity you engage with, right? And that's for me the balance that WoW has achieved at this point, right?
Okay.
And you can engage with any of these activities, and they all reward you kind of in the same form.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like that works only if your market is big enough. Like, and here the problem is, it's, for example, if you can only, I'm trying to put it in WoW terms. Like
All right.
there is so much things that you can trade in WoW. Like,
Yes.
you can trade pets,
Okay.
you can trade items just for the mocks, only
Yeah.
for transmogs.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So basically just cosmetics.
Yeah.
You can trade materials to build stuff that people want to build.
Yes.
And you can trade actual items like
Yeah. Like
swords and pants and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, and mounts too, right? You can trade mounts.
Mounts, yeah. But what I feel happens is that there is so much variety in the things that you can sell.
Yeah.
That if you enjoy, for example, and I don't know, if you enjoy battle pets for whatever reason,
Yep.
you like going playing Pokemon in WoW and like leveling them up and
that's crazy. I've played a lot of WoW these weeks and I've not engaged in that system yet.
I like it. It's kind of entertaining.
It's like
That's
it's
a side thing.
Oh my god. Anyways.
But that's not the point. Like,
yeah.
You can do that. Like for example, you can go do that, level up the pet, and then sell it full level up.
Yeah.
And you can make money that way.
I've heard of people like farming mounts, and they dedicate the time to just selling mounts and farming mounts.
Also farming. People also sell mocks, like just equipment for the transmogs.
Yeah.
Which usually is just like old farming old content.
Yeah.
But my point is that the whole environment feels large enough. You know, that
healthy enough.
That if you don't enjoy doing one thing, so for example, if you don't like the collector professions,
yes,
you don't have to engage with that to make money. That's one way of making money.
Yeah.
That you can do other things, or I don't know, you can be one of the production
profession, like sell pots or enchantments.
Sell potions, sell whatever, inscriptions, enchantments, blah blah blah, whatever thing.
Yep.
So it is gonna be like, I feel like the success of that auction house is just that basically you can pick what do you want to do, farm that little thing, and still make money.
Yes, but that's what I mean. Or like rewarding whatever activity you want to do inside the game.
Yeah, right? But it's not only rewarding. The activity itself is that it has to have a lot of variety for people to actually engage.
And that was
if it is just so for example, what I'm trying to get at, if it is just farming for equipment,
it becomes maybe could become a problem.
Yeah, maybe it could, maybe not.
Yeah,
that is probably harder to balance, because then you have to think that you said that it's consider the time invested and the reward that you get for that time invested.
Yeah.
While when it's so large that you can just pick and do whatever you want, kind of doesn't matter. Like, like it could be super inefficient to go out and farm transmogs.
Yeah.
But if you like it,
you can make money that way. That is true, and then that's one of the things that were being discussed still on Diablo 4 of what roles, what can and can you not trade, and how it shapes. So the first discussion that I heard, it was like there's some items that they're gonna be bound, like the soulbound system in WoW.
That's fine. Like the most powerful
Yeah,
thing shouldn't be able
to be just like given away. And the other things, like if you have like they haven't even started talking about the crafting system inside the new Diablo 4, right?
Yep.
So that could be another axis of trading if you are trading like craftable materials inside the system in the action house of the future action house of Diablo 4, right? If the
Yep.
crafting is deep enough, the system of crafting is deep enough, it can be
Yeah.
rewarding to actually engage from that way. And the other thing was they were being talked about is like crafting keys, right? It happens it happens in PoE when a lot of people um, trade maps, which is the PoE version of like keys of for
Yep.
dungeons that has modifier and that sort of stuff. And that's the other system, the other interesting system, right? Of course, because the RTS, like the genre is more limited in that sense. It'd be interesting if they put more approach points to that sort of stuff, like crafting. It would be like expanse points, and then maybe you farm for like interesting key modifications, and then you sell those keys, or you can modify the keys somehow. There's a bunch of like things that we don't know about Diablo 4, and they're actually being discussed
Better.
with the community in dances of what. And a lot of the community is putting like examples of as PoE and a very healthy state of PoE in terms of trading. But I don't know, the PoE trading is crazy.
I agree. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is you kind of don't care about the balance of the trading
Yeah.
as long as there is something for everyone, almost everyone to do.
Yeah, I think that's a fine point. Like that you can approach the system. I was like when I started playing WoW, and I told you I was very kind of like not wanted to engage with the auction house system because I was like kind of dubious about how it works and how you generate money and that sort of stuff. Uh, but but now that I engage with it, I think it's like easy enough to not having to think much about it.
No, and their point is that there are levels of engagement. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you can engage to a point that you collect things and you're just gonna make some money that is gonna be enough for you to buy whatever things you're gonna need in the future.
Yeah.
Or you can really dive deep into the auction house and sit down to snipe stuff and
And do
flip
trades and
things in the
crazy,
market. And
and be an accountant in a game for some reason.
it's fun. Like
Yeah, of course, people find fun in counting. I'm not saying that the profession is not fun. I guess.
I actually find it fun because it's rewarding being able to say, "Oh, I found a thing," and then I can make money out of that. That's fun. Like it's
Yeah, cool.
like
Yeah.
flipping stuff. It's fun for
Flipping
some
stuff.
reason.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I see myself
It's
like.
just it's the feeling of, oh, I outsmarted the people.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
of course. I find myself like not wanting to engage with that system a lot. I don't know why. I've seen like I've been like scourged a lot of like just farming gold roots in the game without having to engage with the action house.
Yeah, but that's that's the success of the auction house in WoW, that it has levels of engagement.
Yeah, and you don't, and I feel like so far, no, I have been feel obligated to actually like engage that much with the action house.
Mm, yes, you're not obligated, but it's a nice quality of life
Yes, it's an
to
interesting
be
part of
able
the
to
game.
make enough gold to afford the things that you want to afford.
Yes, absolutely. I will agree to that. I will absolutely
Yeah, but
agree to that.
that still means that almost everyone is gonna be engaged with the system.
Yeah, even if it's a little bit intimidated. Like as a new
It
player,
is.
I was intimidated by the action house.
Yeah, but TSM.
Of course, there's add-ons because the game, anyways. But yeah, but I think by now I don't think they're gonna make the same mistake as they did with the auction house in the
Yeah,
Diablo 2.
I think as long as they stay away from buying currency with real
Yeah,
money,
directly
and
bonus. Yeah, yeah.
as long as they have enough areas for people to engage,
Yeah, enough
it's
points
fine.
of entries. It
You
should
don't
be
have
fine.
to worry about like balancing everything to
Yeah. Of course, they have to balance properly the game, right? Because if you have
They
like
do
some
have to,
point of
but
unbalance, then everything can break.
everything can break. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like a general, like what I'm thinking of is like a general set of parameters
Yeah.
where things should more or less be okay.
Yeah, and I think by this point they have enough experience with the WoW action house that they had when they put out Diablo
Let's
3,
hope.
right? When they put out Diablo 3, WoW was like in the third expansion. I think
Yeah.
2009 was Cataclysm, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, we hope that that's a thing about player economy and that sort of stuff. Like, I think that's the more important thing that you can have. Like, have a lot of points of approachment of how to engage with the community and make the player feel rewarded for however form they're engaging with the game, right?
Yep.
And Queen 69 was
That's
doing the same. Right? Was saying the same. He was saying like there is people in Path of Exile that the only thing they do is just trade items,
yep.
and that's the way they like. They never see a map, which is the high end game system, the end game system. They never see a map. They're not interested in it. They saw the story and they just dedicate themselves to get cool items through the crazy Path of Exile auction house.
Yep.
And yeah,
And that's I really feel like to have a healthy like game that is gonna work as a service,
yeah,
it needs to have a healthy economy.
inside it, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. There was another example. Yeah, and the guys. The interesting thing about the talking about the real money thing. There was a discussion about like because they disappeared this pet from World of Warcraft, the long boy, the Brontosaurus thingy. There was like suspicion about the people from Warcraft to push like microtransactions, and that's a problem. You see what I mean? That's a problem when you like make a way for people to actually like introduce directly currency into a game
It
for those
is.
systems. Like Path of Exile, they have a bunch of microtransactions, but you can never buy currency that you can never buy currency directly in the game for doing transactions and trades.
I agree, but I have to defend the Brontosaurus thing. Like
All
it's
right.
5 million gold.
Yeah, that's a lot of gold.
If you're like, I heard this from I don't know, Talias in an Avitel.
Yeah, I've
They did
seen
a
those.
video on that,
Seen
and
the
it's
YouTube,
basically if you can make the 5 million gold, you already have made it, and you already have the amount.
So what are you
And if
complaining
you're not-
about? Yeah, I heard exactly the same.
But that sounds fair. It's so much gold that really, I'm never gonna get it. Honestly, like I don't have that much gold.
Yeah, fair enough.
I have like 500,000.
Yeah, I saw that video, and they were talking about like I have like he was talking about like oh yeah, I have like 6 alts and they all can produce gold and like I've been just lazy not doing it and blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's not lazy. It's just that it's a job. Like if you want to make the gold, you have to sit down and do your homework.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like
how much
I'm
actual
okay.
real how much actual real money will cost you to buy that mount straight away?
In WoW tokens,
Yeah.
I think it's like $500-$600.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah, and the thing is, like if you are thinking about sinking $600 for a mount in a game, just don't. It's not worth it.
Jesus. Yeah, all right,
It's,
fair
you
enough.
know, like $600 for a digital item in a video game is
Oh
not
my
worth it.
gosh.
It is not. Like no matter what you say, it is
Yeah.
not.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yes. Okay.
So I don't feel like I would hope that no one is thinking of sinking that much money for 1 month, you know, like
Yeah.
let's just let it go.
Just let
I'm
it
never gonna
go.
make the 5 millions. It's okay.
It's okay. Just not gonna have in that amount.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyways.
Anyway,
Moving
moving on.
on. We're gonna talk about PvP for Diablo. This has been a thing that apparently happened in Diablo 2. There were PvP in Diablo 2. Some sort of
Yeah.
PvP in Diablo 2. Yeah.
It was a very straightforward sort of PvP. Just you'll go around killing people and collecting ears. That was it.
That was it. So they want to reintroduce the system of PvP for Diablo because they didn't do it in Diablo 3. Even it was something planned, but it was dropping development along the road of Diablo 3 and never came back and introduced because of the systems of Diablo 3. And the thing is like this is difficult for me to try to think about how to introduce satisfying PvP in this kind of games, right? And like I've seen the PvP talking about World of Warcraft because they kind of like are similar in terms of abilities and what the characters can do. I've seen the PvP in World of Warcraft, and for me, it's like it doesn't look satisfying at all. What you're doing is like responding to stuff more than actually skill. It's more of knowledge than anything else, and it's weird. And it's kind of like for me, it's weird because
There's
I'm
nothing wrong
more.
with being about knowledge.
Yeah, no. Let me finish my point. For me, it's weird because for me, the best PvP environments are based on player skill,
I
and the art.
disagree with that statement 100%.
Okay. For me, the best PvP environments are based on player skill, and the thing about the PvP environments that are based on RPG is that um certain are like gear and things that the player has give them advantage more than the skill, so you can lose the skill of the player for just having gear and having good knowledge about the game. So it's a difficult thing to balance. I don't know, for me personally, I'm not saying that it's wrong or right. For me personally, I prefer the more skill based PvP environments, but I could appreciate the not skill based PvP environments where it's more about gear and knowledge. They are interesting at some points.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Don't you consider Magic a PvP game that highly rewards knowledge and
Yes.
being well prepared?
Yes.
So why is
But
it that
imagine
different
the
from?
difference is that in Magic I don't get advantage uh in my it's difficult to explain. I don't get advantage against my opponents because I have better gear.
If you have a better deck, you do for sure.
Yes, but I'm talking like if when you are like there is an understanding when you're participating in Magic in PvP events at the levels that I participate, that you are on the same playing field in terms of what you have in your deck.
And you can argue the same thing for PvP in WoW. That when you get there, you acknowledge that if you haven't farmed enough gear, you're gonna be in an unlevel playing field. That you need to prepare yourself and find the gear required to be competitive.
In the PvP
Yeah,
sense.
it's the same.
All
Like,
right.
like you're not gonna show up to a professional competition in Magic with
With
a random
like
deck.
yes.
Yeah, but that's
Yes, yes,
but
yes,
you
yes, yes.
could,
You could. Yeah, it's absolutely
and
possible.
and you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to be aware that you are being that you are under gear for the competition.
Okay, I get you. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
and like before the big competition, you have to be aware what is the meta, what is
Yeah.
the gear, or in this case, the deck that you need
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
to go. Like you need to know the gear that you're using, so you need to know the deck that you're playing with.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to know its sideboard. It's the same thing. Like you need to know your skills. You need to
Yeah.
know your rotations.
Yeah, but yes, and that's all fine and good. But those environments in the case of Magic in that example that you're giving, there is there is forms to engage that PvP system when you don't need that, right? In the other example,
Definitely.
yeah. So that needs to be that needs to exist in that PvP environment, right? And I will give you the other example, the Division 2. When you go to Dark Zones, all your gear is normalized, right?
They're taking that away, which I think is good.
They're taking normalizations from the directly
Yeah.
PvP. I don't think they taking it from what is the other system that I have? The one that you go into arena that is a problem, like they have
No,
like
no, no.
closed
From
down
the
maps.
zones.
From
I'm
the
talking
Dark
about the zones in the
Zones.
map. Yeah,
They taking normalization from all the Dark Zones?
I think so.
They take it up from one.
Yeah, no. Right now, it is only one out of the 3 zones that
Yes,
is
yes, yes.
unnormalized.
Which is normalized, which is fine.
I think they were thinking of taking off the normalization of all the PvP zones in the map.
All right. For the Dark Zones properly, right?
Yeah.
But not from the other
No,
what's the
not
name of
from
the other
the
ones?
not from the PvP modes,
Yeah,
but
the
for the
proper
actual
PvP mode,
zone.
which is what I'm talking about, right? They for to have like a proper PvP, you have to have both components of like a skill and preparation in the same way, right? And for example, in Magic, you have exactly the same with the drafts. When where it's purely skill, whatever you take from the packs, you battle with that, and not necessarily something pre-constructed that you get from the tournament, right? And that's the level playing field I'm talking about, where
But that's an opinion, and the point is, I don't think you need that to have an enjoyable PvP environment.
experience is,
Yeah.
for me, yes, I will clarify that. In my opinion, it's healthier to have both sides.
If you want more people to engage with it, probably.
All right.
Because there are people who are gonna feel bad if they just get stunned by someone who's outgearing them.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes.
But for me, that is a core part of an RPG.
Yes. All right. Yeah, I see it. But I think it's more healthy for you to have both sides.
Mm, yes, it's probably healthier. I just
Yeah.
don't think that's the right thing for an RPG because, like, a big component in my head of an RPG is gearing up
Yeah.
for both PvE and PvP.
Okay. Yes. 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 You have to do the work to get to the activities that you want to get to.
It's the same thing. Like, if you want to rate, you have to gear up and prepare.
Yes.
And if you want to compete and if you want to take part in competitive PvP, you have to gear up. And once you get into a PvP arenas, like everyone is kind of on the same field. And if you see the professional competitions, it's completely about skill. It's about not missing your cooldowns, knowing your rotations,
All right.
which is it's not the same type of skill like as on a first person shooter,
Yeah.
but it's completely knowledge based. Like, do you know your stuff?
And you know when to hit the bottom at what times, which is fine. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
think my opinion is that it will benefit to have both sides. Just for the people that want to see how the PvP works without having to necessarily. So just like the things like there is when you are gearing up, you spend all this time without engaging with that system, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So it's healthier for the player if they can somehow engage with that system early on so they can learn the system and engage more with it. I think that is my point
Mm,
why it's
That
more healthy to have both sides.
that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Yes, because and that's true because actually the way that you play PvP in WoW is completely different to the way that you play PvE.
Yes.
They're completely different beasts.
Exactly.
And I agree. It will be helpful to have a way, like an easier path into PvP
Yeah.
if you wanted to.
Yes. And it's just like for showing because it's not for everyone. is not for everybody. PvP is not for everybody, right? But
I agree.
you generally somehow find some kind of fun from doing it, right? Because competition is fun at different levels for people, right? But you will still have some enjoying even for doing it for fun. So it's more healthy to engage with that system in kind of like quote unquote easier playing field or something like that early on, so you will have more goals in your mind inside the game. So now, I really like the PvP, or I find it okay, but it's not my kind of thing, right? If you engage with the player early on in that, the player can have a better mindset for what to do when gearing up and what the priorities are, right?
That is true. That is fair. Like, yeah, if you wanna bring people into a PvP scene,
Yeah.
sure, that'll be healthier. I cannot deny that. That's true. Yeah, I guess my only point is that. Yeah, okay. I guess my only point is that it sounds to me that it could be a kind of PvP that you would enjoy because it rewards deep knowledge of the game.
Okay. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I
Okay.
like it because the kind of PvP that I like are the battlegrounds, not
All
the
right.
arenas. And the
Okay.
battlegrounds are just chaotic, and you can see just mobs of people going one against the other. Like
Well,
that's super fun.
I'll tell you my experience. Like, I went in one of the battlegrounds just to see how it was, right? With the warrior character that I have. It's like,
Yeah.
there is this event, so I click on it. Like, oh yeah, all these people running around, and there's some like NPC NPC thing, and then I went and fight, and then I got pop randomly, and then I realized, they sending all these like I'm fine. I'm trying to get to players, but there's all these pets in the way and stuff in the way that I should like kill first before I get there, and there I should try to dodge stuff, and all that was well and fun and interesting. And then the other team somehow bring like this insane ginormous ice colossus thingy, and then that thing start killing everybody, and it was just like you just rest, and then it instantly kill you. So it was like, what am I doing? I don't know what's happening. And that was my experience. And then they won, and it was like, okay.
You should you should give it more tries than one, to be fair.
I guess.
But I like that chaos of the
but
battlegrounds.
that's what I mean when you engage with those systems, and there's like it's stupidly confusing and weird. And
Okay, there's something that you have to keep in mind, and is that the battlegrounds are not the only PvP experience.
Clearly, no, I know that. But
And the battlegrounds reward more coordination than actual skill or knowledge.
skill on the yes, I imagine so.
The arenas are more for that, while the battleground require more of team coordination of like,
fair enough.
let's just all go in group to do the same thing.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah. And anyways, but that was my experience. So my point is like, you should have those playing fields so the new players can engage with those system earlier and try to give them better understand, because it was very confusing for me to go there.
I get it.
Yeah.
And I could still make an argument that maybe a PvP is not for the new player. Like maybe you need to spend, and this goes for me as well, because I'm not that good at PvP.
Yeah.
But like, I need to spend more time with my class to understand its abilities more and its cooldowns better. And at that point, I can try to transfer that knowledge into PvP.
Yeah. But you again,
so it may not be for a beginner player.
Yes, but you should yes, the thing is like, you should show that system to the beginner player anyways. in a way that he can comprehend it. Because that way you expose him to that and make it interesting to that. If you just go all the game without seeing that system, you don't care at the end, and you maybe won't never care for it, right? But if you maybe has been shown that system like in a simplistic way or in an earlier way into the system, you will be more interested in engaging deeper with that system. That's my point, right? That's my argument, right? I'm not saying that I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying that for me, that seems to be a better way to show it to the player and create interesting in that system.
It probably would.
Yeah.
But I just like the chaos of going around killing people.
And now I have this question: have you like? I think the closest thing for a PvP in terms of the type of genre that is Diablo, it will be some kind of gameplay similar to League of Legends.
No, fuck that shit.
It will be like that. It will be like positioning and ability based. It will be something like League of Legends, like when you fight another player in League of Legends. For RTS, do you have any other example as an RTS that has PvP? Path of Exile doesn't have PvP.
RTS?
Sorry, the genre that is Diablo.
ARPG?
For an ARPG, thank you.
No, probably not.
There you go. So that's what I'm saying. Like the PvP in Diablo will be something like that. If I couldn't try to imagine
I don't think the instantiated PvP encounters are the right thing for Diablo.
So you prefer free for all random in the world PvP encounters?
Yeah. Or like events, like for example, an event that will spawn in the map that for whatever reason would require PvP.
All right, yeah.
Something like that. Like
so
something
capturing a thingy or getting a thingy or something like that.
Yeah.
So you don't prefer like instantiated like arenas 1v1 stuff?
Not really.
Because it would be a gameplay like League of Legends. Like if you're gonna 1v1 somebody with Diablos, it would be something like that. Because that genre, that MOBA genre came from World of Warcraft 3, people trying to do PvP in World of Warcraft 3. Like hero versus heroes. So it would be something like that.
Yeah, something.
But you would prefer...
and that's what the World of Warcraft arenas battlegrounds are. Like lanes of objectives to complete and stuff. And like you get to encounters when the two teams are meet in the middle to fill an objective. Yeah, sure. I know that.
Yeah.
And it's just that I like the big team. If it is like 3v3, I'm not that big of a fan of that.
So you prefer...
I like the chaos of
free for all, like big, like a lot of people like trying to kill each other inside the craziest. All right, fair enough.
It's not. It's just it feels like a war, and I like that feeling.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Yeah. But for PvP for Diablo, I think you can. I think they will probably have them both. They probably have like arena type of encounters and then war PvP type of encounters. But they should be like. I think at some point you should have like some kind of safe zones inside the game.
Yeah, like that's where you
choice.
Have
maybe you take like a PvP option to click or something like that.
That's probably the smartest thing to like a toggle of like a PvP toggle.
And then the toggle will give you like, I don't know, more experience or more gold or something like that if you have
extra experience is fine.
Then maybe you can sell your ears for some kind of currency or something like that.
They need to have ears in the game. That's just...
As a tradition, yeah, absolutely.
If they don't, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I think it probably be something like that. Some system like that, like a toggle. I think I'll probably have it
fine.
I probably have it as a toggle and then have separate arenas for PvP indirectly or something like that, or way to duels people or something like that.
Do you know what would be interesting? A mix between like a gambit-like system in Diablo.
Oh, you mean like some kind of activity when you are competing against another team
Yeah, like a
doing
race kind
this
of thing where you can invade or like
something like that in a dungeon, and then you're
yeah,
killing things, and then a
yeah, like a
boss
dungeon race, and if you reach certain part of the dungeon, you can then like
jump.
teleport to the dungeon and be one of the enemies.
Oh,
That would be pretty
that
cool.
will be pretty cool. I will agree to that. Yeah, because if we can say one of the cool things about Destiny is definitely the idea of Gambit.
Gambit
Definitely
is in
that
my opinion one of the strongest points of
yeah,
Destiny.
it would be definitely the idea of Gambit of that mix. That would be super interesting. But what do you
That would be
think?
interesting.
But what do you think that you will do? I think they'll probably do something like that, like a toggle PvP
I think that's
and then arenas and like way to duel one-on-one people, and that's it. I think
yeah,
that will
they'll
probably will
probably
do.
have like a 1-on-1 and 3v3 or something like that.
Yeah, arena thingy, and then war PvP technically. I hope for war PvP. I think that would be cool.
I think that's the least that they can do
Yes, I hope
for sure.
for having a toggle option for war PvP.
Yeah,
That would be nice. We will want that, and then being optimistic, hopefully have some sort of kind of like Gambit like
I think
activity.
that could be an interesting idea to test. I don't
Yes,
know if it's the right thing, but it just sounds fun based on the gameplay of Diablo.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, that would be so cool. Please do this.
That would be
Please test it or
it'll be
something.
interesting. Exactly, it'll be
Yeah,
interesting to test
yeah.
at
Please test
least.
it or something. All right. And now we're going to talk about the state of items imbalance in the last entry of Diablo 3. So there's been a lot of power creep recently in Diablo 3. And it's
Recently,
been a
no.
big problem.
Throughout the years, there's
Throughout the years,
been
the power creep has been, and it's been like, I feel like at this point, it's been like slowly destroying the game. And
it yeah.
like, I just saw the news, like, I think it was 3 days ago, of like, oh, yeah, 4 days in a season and I already did a GR 150. And I'm like, what
Yeah,
the Jesus? And for putting it in context, 150 GR is the highest GR that you can do in the game currently.
yeah,
You cannot do more than that because the system cannot calculate more than that.
yeah. Diablo 3 at least
Yeah.
has had a huge power creep problem from the beginning.
And now I'm seeing it like the more that I see the expansions in WoW, the more that I see this like the power creep, kind of the power creep problem rating his ugly haze up, especially when you start to stockpiling content in top of another, right?
Mm, ah, yes, for me a problem with WoW is not power creep on itself. Is that when you reach the end, there is no challenge in the world,
Yeah,
so the world feels boring.
yeah. No, it doesn't scale with you, right?
It doesn't scare. It just yeah, but it's kind of it's the thing like maybe the monsters should should make a little bit more damage
Yeah,
so that you can actually die on mobs.
fair enough.
Because that and that's I feel like that's my biggest complaint with WoW is just at some point you outgear most of the world, if not all the world.
All of the world, yeah,
The difference is that in WoW you still quote unquote have the raids in all its difficulties and the dungeons in all its difficulties.
yeah,
So where the mechanics are challenging.
fair enough.
But it will be nice if the world itself, if you're doing world quests or mowing or whatever, if that felt as dangerous.
Yeah, if they're at least scale a little bit to your level, something like that, right?
They do. I heard, and I'm not sure about this. They do a scale, but they scale the health but
And nothing
not the
else.
damage all the time.
Well, yeah. That's pointless. It just become like
That's
they just become
yeah. So
sponges.
it has power creep, but it's a different
Yep.
problem of power creep. Well, the Diablo power creep is just
Yeah.
insane. You're just too powerful for everything.
Yes, and by this point you are too powerful for it. Like it's not been a week of the season now, and I've seen a streamer just farming GR 112.
Yeah,
Like what? Jesus, that's just silly. Like, and they keep like giving more and more power and more power. I think at some point they have to actually like depower everything.
Now, I was gonna ask you, would you, if you were in charge,
Yeah.
would you just cut the power at some point, like to say, no more,
I
like
think.
cut all the numbers by 1,000 and see what
Yeah,
happens?
depower everything. I'll probably do that.
Yeah,
At this point in Diablo 3, I will absolutely do that. Right? Because
yeah,
Diablo 3 at this point has no much, doesn't have much to have in terms
I
of
agree.
content, right? Like the content right now of Diablo 3 is linear. It's just do GRs and do rifts
Yep.
and farm over and over again.
Sadly,
Right? And that's it. That's the end game of Diablo 3.
yeah,
And
it has no.
expansive, nothing different to do,
Yeah.
right? And that's the reality of the game. The game is old and they're not gonna put anything else in the game by now
I
to change that.
I completely agree with you. I would also just let's divide everything by 1,000,000 and see what happens.
Yeah, just like cut some zeros from that. From everything. And it's a big undertaking because if you miss something, it's absolutely broken everything.
Oh yeah, no.
because the problem with Diablo 3 is like it has so much power creep that it has multiplicators on top of multiplicators on top of additives on top of multiplicators,
interactions
and
between
then
things
snapshotting this way, and then this thing is interacting with this item of this way, so you can multiply by billions and billions of damage. And
no, I know, but it's like if you could take the game and like divide it by 1,000.
Yes, everything. Just apply a division.
Yeah.
I think I will do it.
All
At this
the
point,
numbers.
at this point, if they want to keep like giving the game content, I think that's the only solution because they already hit the ceiling.
Yeah, and it's fun because it's not that the enemies cannot kill you, because at higher graded riffs,
They
no matter
can
how
one-shot
powerful you are,
Yeah.
everything one shot you.
Yes, absolutely. The thing is, like, you are so powerful that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, like if you die, it's because your own mistake.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
if something catches you, you're dead. Like
Yes.
So it's not that the enemies are not dangerous. It's kind of weird. Like
Yes. So at this point, they already hit the ceiling of their calculations of what the engine can. That's ridiculous, right? To think about it, like they put this ceiling back in Reaper of Souls of GR 150, and that's how much calculation the actual engine can do before crashes the servers, some ridiculous thing like that. And they already hit in 4 days in a season. They already hit that ceiling because of the power creep of the game.
Let's just divide everything and see what happens.
I think if you want to keep Diablo 3 interesting, don't remove all the difficulties that you already put in. Right? Just like crunch all the numbers. Just remove some zeros from everything.
Probably.
Right? And then take and then like, but I don't know if it's worth, like at this point I don't know if it's actually viable in monetary, because that's a lot of software time development that they will have to invest to fix all that.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, if we are being honest, it's probably not worth the time.
No, but at this point it's
and
not
resources
just
investment.
Yeah, no. That the amount of development investments that you have to do to modify all those things inside the engine and not broke the game in half is considerable. It's sizable. It's like it's a big investment to actually like squish all those numbers.
No, I agree. It's just a crazy idea.
It's just a crazy idea, but it's the only solution at this point.
Probably.
Right? and they're hyping up games, and the last item sets has been super fun. But at this point, I'm not playing Diablo 3 because of that, because like the ridiculousness is so ridiculous that it's like there's no why.
Yeah.
Right? And the game is still fun. I still play it from time to time when I don't want to think about life. But yeah, the problem of items imbalance, and all the items are fun in Diablo 3 and has their unique quirks, but the problem of power creep has been insane
They
inside
are.
the game, right?
They are. I agree.
So our solution for that is just crunch all those games. If we were in a perfect world, you just have enough time and resources to actually squish all those zeros into reasonable numbers,
Yeah, and yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
right?
Yep.
That is it. All right. Now we move on to what I think I'm gonna skip that design idea for each class.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about exotic rarity, right? This system doesn't exist in Diablo 3, but it exists in other games. And it
Explain what
seems
the system is.
so the system is an item. Generally, how you have like levels of items and levels of rarity of items in the majority of these RPG systems games, and the exotic system was an answer to those systems to make a unique, very powerful item. And the restriction of the exotic system is generally that you only can have one of those, and is far above beyond of all the other legendaries and rarities from down there, right? Diablo 3 and not near Diablo 1 or 2 has this system,
No.
but it's been very successful when we have seen the system work in
If it
interesting
is
way.
done carefully,
Yeah.
it can be very successful.
Why? Because the system lets you take this item, which will you find something like it gives you another avenue of character building, right?
Yeah.
Besides building in top of like certain abilities that you like from the character, if you find this very unique item that gives you this very unique power over certain things, you can build around it and like kind of like extract this power, and that become a very interesting point of customization inside the game and build
Also, you
construction.
should mention that one of the main goals of the system is to somehow change the usual gameplay
Yes.
of your class, of your one of your skills or
Yeah, fundamentally
something.
change it. Yeah, fundamentally changed the way that you play your class, or how one of the abilities behaves, that way to give it more avenues to the customization of the game. So how
Yeah.
will this system do you feel that this system is missing in Diablo 3?
It probably is, and that's probably what they are including something like that in Diablo 4.
All right. So
That's my answer.
yes, and one of the ways that they tried to do this thing that the exotic accomplished was through sets, right?
Yeah, and that's one possible answer, but the systems shouldn't be exclude like you shouldn't exclude the systems.
Yes.
You can have both,
Yes.
which can be challenging for again all the balancing problems
Yeah.
that both systems have
But
per se.
yeah.
But
But
yeah, you
but
should have both if
you
you
can
can.
still build, yeah, you can still build one on top of the other. You can have sets with they ask you for a very a lot of commitment in terms of slots, right? So it's kind of approach of combined power, and then uh, you have the exotic rarity system, which is just one item that you can have only one, and all that item is the one that changes whatever you're trying to do, and then combine them both. There's like it's two avenues of acquiring different types of power, right? And they both ask you for different things, right? They ask you to commit one slot and that's it, right? That is lock, and that's the price that you pay. And then the other asks you to um, command more slots, but it's more flexible than the exotic because you can you can have more stuff in there. So I think it's interesting to have both systems. When we have seen they've been very good for for variety of builds. When you have both systems, of course it's a problem balance, right? At the end of the day.
It is a huge balancing problem.
Yeah. But I think it's worth it to have exotic rarity in Diablo 3. I think it would be very interesting to have like those beautiful, exotic, super powerful legendary draw from like a weird monster for doing this activity or this kind of thing, and that change like fundamentally what your character can do.
It would. Yeah, it would. Mm, I don't know. I remember. Yeah. Would you give them fixed stats or not?
Um, I will give them. It depends of what the exotic does.
No, you have to have the same rule for all the exotics.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So in terms of
It has to
construction,
be a consistent system. It cannot be item by item
yeah,
based. That's
I probably, if the majority, fuck, that mean that you will want, that mean that the choice is like, if you will not have them with consistent stats, it means that you will want to farm exotics or a particular exotic in some way, shape, or form, right?
yeah, but if
So
they're not,
it comes at
yeah, but
so I
that
think,
balances out with how often do you want to drop them.
yeah, that was my next point. I think it depends of how are you giving these exotics. If they're super
Yeah, so
exclusive and hard to get, I probably won't get them with won't give it to you with random stats.
so that's what I'm asking you. If you were to put exotics right now in Diablo 3, where would you put them? And would you give them random drops, random rolls?
All right, right now in Diablo 3, I will probably put them at some milestones of the gaining power in seasons. So like as similar as the primal ancient system, when you get to certain GR and then they give you the access to the system. I will probably to, if you clear GR X, then I will give you this exotic.
Okay. And then, like
And
after
then
that, how would you obtain them?
clearing the, as I say, clearing the GR. So I will try it in different system. There's a variety of systems that are being wasted in Diablo 3 that you could put interesting exotics into. But as the game is, I probably will give them with fixed stats.
And where would they drop for you?
For
Just
example,
at the end of the year?
I will put some at some points of GRs, at the end of the GR as a reward to milestones. Then I put some in the other system, in the challenge system that they have. They have like challenge system
Okay.
of running X time in like certain amount of time, gaining this amount of gold. I will put some there, and then I'll put some in the sets dungeons.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Diablo has these some interesting set
Yeah.
dungeons, right? And I
Yeah,
will do,
I
and I
know.
will kind of like for Diablo 3 properly. I will kind of like take kind of the approach of Destiny, where the exotics are tied up to certain point activities and they always have the same thing, right? I think I'll probably do for Diablo 3 right now that system.
Yeah, it's just I've never been a huge fan of the like exotic quest kind of thing of Destiny 2, to be honest.
Yeah,
It would make sense, but I don't like it.
it will make sense in terms of what Diablo 3 is right now.
Probably.
right? Because the other answer is just put it into the loot table and away you go. But I think I'll probably want to showcase more part of the games.
I would still probably put some of the loot on the loot table,
Yeah.
like of I don't know, or GR or 100 or something,
Whatever, yeah.
just to throw a number.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And they have a chance to drop at the end or something like that, or maybe you could design challenges, for example, associated to the modifiers of a GR.
Yeah.
And maybe those challenge, like if you fulfill the challenges, they drop
The
the
exotic in question, whatever. Or
yeah,
they drop you an exotic, something like that.
or yeah, I don't know, yeah, something. I kind of want to mix the set dungeons
Yeah.
with something that can be changed a little bit more, because the set dungeons are completely fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe just exotic dungeons, and you just
You
make a
can,
bunch
yeah,
of
but that will mean
dungeons
like
with random
develop,
challenges.
that will mean develop a whole entire system for just the exotics. And I would prefer, as a developer, to take advantage of the rest of the content in Diablo 3 that is not seen right now, as the state of the game it is right now.
That's fair. That is fair.
Right?
Yeah, I guess. I
And
guess.
how do you see the exotics working in Diablo 4?
I don't know.
Which
I
which kind
have
of
no
system
idea.
would you like for them? Would you like for a specific quest kind of system
No,
like in Destiny 2, or would you like
no.
to for challenges or for specific dungeons that you have to clear? Or like for achievements, that's the other system, or just random drops for bosses.
Achievement is nice. That because that gives you something to work toward. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm all in favor of achievements.
Yeah.
Uh, I reckon that they're probably gonna tie them to a key system that they're gonna have for the dungeons.
All right. Yeah.
Maybe they're gonna have these world bosses and stuff like that.
Yes.
So maybe they're gonna put some of them there, random random drops from those bosses.
Yeah.
It will be interesting if you can make this world encounters like the Destiny public events, that you can make them heroic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Something
it'll
like
be
that for
interesting.
the.
Yeah, if you have like world bosses or world things, and you can do specific things to increase their rarity or type or whatever they're gonna call it.
Yeah, if you do, especially when they have a system of like when you fight in a boss, you can like remove certain limbs from him or like modify the battle. Sometimes that's one of the big systems that they were teasing. Maybe if you do certain conditions, then that boss will drop you at exotic, something like that. That would be interesting.
Yeah,
That only have them like in random loot drops in certain dungeons and that sort of stuff.
yeah, yeah. Probably tie them to a keys, like keys with certain combinations of the modifiers
Yeah.
have a chance to drop it at the end or something like that.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So certain, similarly as the uh, Borderlands 3 system, when the
Yep.
exotics of Borderlands or legendaries of Borderlands come in like a range of like, oh, if you go to this boss, it has certain percentage of chance of dropping you that legendary that you're looking for. If you go up in difficulty, then it will give you more percentage of drop. Or if you do these certain conditions, it will give you more percentage of drop. Something like
Yep.
that. You prefer something like that?
More than specific quests and things. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
I really despise the exotic quest of Destiny 2.
Fair
They're
enough.
super boring for the most part.
Yeah, I will agree to that system too. I will prefer that system of
like
tables as in
and
Borderlands 3.
that and achievements. I'm all like
Achievements
achievements
too. Achievements
just
are
give
cool.
you a goal to work towards, and that's
Yeah,
fine.
and that's fine if they give you that exotic. I probably have, maybe I will have both ways. Like certain bosses have certain exotics that you can drop, but if you do these achievements, then you will get a random drop exotics, for example.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not saying that these things are exclusive.
Yeah.
I'm saying just do a mix of all of them.
Yeah, I think I'll probably do that. Like if you do certain these achievements, then you will get a random exotic drop. I would probably prefer to do that instead of like certain achievements will give you certain exotics. I prefer if you have an exotic.
I would like the this achievement gives you this exotic in a way that it makes sense. Like
I don't know. I will prefer if you're gonna tie them like as in loot tables as in Borderlands 3. I will prefer them to stay tied to the boss specifically, to the activity specifically.
I prefer both.
I don't know. I feel like it maybe is harder to balance if you do that. If the achievement have certain exotics, because certain players will prefer to do the activities and farm the bosses that to actually try to do achievements which they don't resonate much with them.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like that's exactly the intention, that you have exotics everywhere for everyone. Like if you're a collector and you like collecting achievements, you will get rewarded for that.
All right.
If you like going out and killing bosses, you get rewarded for that.
All right. I don't know. I think
that's the idea. Like in my mind, you cannot put everything in one thing, because if someone doesn't enjoy it,
it is a problem.
There is a group of people who are never going to engage with that. While if you distribute the things across all the game,
yeah, it's still I think that will work, but it still is a problem of balance when you don't have like a super powerful exotic all in one place, or like the most powerful exotic just tied to this one system. You know what I mean?
That's always going to happen. Like but you're always going to have the best exotic for this class. Oh, yes, that one is in that achievement, or that one is in that boss, or that one is in this other place. That's always going to happen.
And you don't find a problem with that?
No, that's what it is. I mean, as long as it is not the same exotic for all the classes.
Fair enough. Yeah, of course.
Or the best exotic for all the classes is in the same place.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like it just happens that the best exotic for this specific
is in this place. Also,
it shouldn't be like one exotic per class. It should be like, maybe this is the best exotic for this build of this class.
Yeah, and you get it this way.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one is tied to achievement. Go farm the achievement.
Yeah.
Or no, that one is tied to a boss. Go farm the boss.
You know, it would be interesting if they're like thematically tied to wherever they are. That would be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you can have achievements of complete this many activities of this specific family of monsters, and then you get an exotic that is tied to that family of monster, for example.
Yeah, for example, yeah.
That would be cool. That would be appropriately thematic or something like that.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. And for a final thing in our deep dive, what class will you add to Diablo 3 right now, and what class would you like to see in Diablo 4? From the 3
in Diablo 4, I want to see the witch doctor. I want my voodoo master.
In Diablo 4, in which class will you add right now at Diablo 3?
That's a harder question. I would like I would like that's harder to answer.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
A chronomaster.
A chronomaster. Like
chronomancer.
A chronomancer. Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
What?
Just to go full bananas.
All right. So just like time manipulating powers or something like that?
Yes.
All right, fair. Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, we'll take it. I think.
It's completely out of the blue. Like,
Yeah. I think for me, for Diablo 4, I would love to see a Crusader. I like my holy thematic. That would be the
such a
class I would
good
like to
boy.
see. What?
Such a good boy.
I know. I would love to see that in Diablo 4, and for Diablo 3, I think I don't know. I would like another melee class that it would be different from the barbarian and the crusader. I don't know. I don't know what. I really like that archetype of the warrior in World of Warcraft, but I don't feel that the barbarian doesn't feel that that close for some reason in Diablo 3 right now. It really feels like a different type of class.
Hmm, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
All right. Any final thoughts about Diablo 3 and Diablo 4 before we move on? What deep dive,
Uh,
Lucho?
let me think about it. No, no.
No?
I just hope they nail Diablo for like making it a more varied game, that you have more avenues of progression that the Diablo 3 has currently.
Absolutely. I will agree 100%
That's
with that.
that's like, aside from all the crazy things that I could desire for, as long as they have that, that will make it successful, because people will do whatever they want. And if
Yes.
the game is successful, they can build up on the game.
Yes. Yes.
So they just need to have enough things for everyone to enjoy.
Yes.
That's what I want. I just want.
Absolutely. 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 And that's our deep dive today. And we move to our audience questions and feedback. Don't forget, if you want to get in contact with us, you can send us an email. You can send us a Twitter. You can pass by my stream, leave us a question there. Any way you want. Snail mail, personal messages, creepy notes under the door. We take those too. Smoke signals.
Yes.
Yes, everything. So we have two questions as usual. For our questions and feedback, why have we played Diablo for so long, my friend?
Because it's an amazing game. I love the world of Diablo.
I love the gameplay of Diablo. I really like that RTS kind of gameplay. That's why I played.
What RTS again?
Sorry,
ARPG.
ARPG. Sorry. Today, I'm a little bit confused today. I'm sorry. ARPG, that kind of a gameplay, I always loved it. It's super satisfying for some reason for me. Very unique, and when the world of Diablo is super cool, like the lore and
I,
the sort of stuff.
I love me voodoo guy. So
You love your voodoo guy. I love the satyr and the monk are my favorite things to do in Diablo. Definitely.
I like fell magic and bringing dead people
Oh my
and
god.
all that kind of stuff. So I like me voodoo guy.
Yeah, but we played Diablo for a long time, especially Diablo 3. We played for like kind of 2 years very constantly.
I love the gameplay. It's
Yeah,
fun.
it's fun. It's fun. But by this point, we have played too much Diablo 3, and there's not much else to do, which is a
Yeah.
shame. But I still play it from time to time, as I say, just to have a little bit of fun. The game is still fun to play. There's no denying about
Yes.
that. And for another questions, what are your plans for the holidays?
To play a lot of WoW.
Apparently, that's a plan for the holidays. I think that's her plan. Like so far, that's her plan. We're gonna play a lot of World of Warcraft
Yeah, I mean,
in our holidays while we wait for Iceborne to come in January.
yeah. Waiting for Iceborne, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for you to reach max level in WoW so that you can gear up and see if we can raid with our guild.
Yeah. Well, I will get there.
I know that you will get there.
I will get there. I will get there. But it's weird because I've been like doing it in the two characters. So maybe
yeah.
I haven't been like the most efficient thing ever, but I will get there.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
It's fine. And yeah, that's our plans for the
That's all.
holidays. Played a lot of World of Warcraft till Iceborne in January. That we will be doing through all of the holidays.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Iceborne and for Warframe.
For the Warframe
Please.
update. Yeah.
Drop some content.
Please. Drop some content on us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting for. But for now, I think World of Warcraft will have us plenty entertained for the foreseeable future. Till then, of course, I always play Magic, so I'll be doing that. And I will do streams through all the holidays. I don't know if I will have enough time, maybe on the 24 around that time. Maybe I will have some off stream, probably.
Probably. We'll see what happens.
Around the holidays, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it.
That's all for this week's episode. Once again, thanks for tuning into A Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at Luis G. Polanco.
And I am the Long Name Gamer. You can find me on Twitter at the Long Name Gamer, and on Twitch on twitch.tv/LongNameGamerTV, where I stream Mondays to Fridays. Yes. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to The Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. Have a good holiday turkey days, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. And did you know, once a real wasabi paste is made, it loses its zing in about 15 minutes, if left uncovered. The traditional way to grate wasabi is a sharp skin grater, or an oroshi, which has the texture of fine sandpaper. Pro tip, right? Because the flavor and heat fade so fast, it's best to grate it as you need it. So, yeah, grate some wasabi, man.
And the wasabi plant, which dates back to the 10th century in Japan, is difficult to cultivate. It grows in cold, shady mountain stream beds, mainly in Japan. But growers have popped up in Taiwan, China, the United States, and other countries, according to the Real Wasabi, a company that grows and imports wasabi all around the world.
I thought you were you were saying like according to the Real Academy of Wasabi.
To Real Wasabi.
Everything is fake. Everything is fake.
Not this company.
Yeah. Apparently,
Real Wasabi.
Apparently, the wasabi that you buy in stores and that sort of stuff is like
fake.
Artificial wasabi. It's not the actual real wasabi, because it loses a lot of potency once you put it like into market, right?
Yeah, apparently it's also super expensive to get like real wasabi.
Real proper
and
wasabi.
Actually getting the wasabi root, the plant,
yeah,
it's expensive.
Oh my god, I want wasabi, man. So good. I love wasabi.